And introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 61.2 kilograms and trains under Garrett Maunda out of Fusion Fight and Fitness. Fighting out of Cairns, Australia, with a professional record of 4 wins for just 2 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the cage, Jamie Renouf. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 61.7 kilograms and trains under Ben Vickers out of Scrappy MMA. Fighting out of Perth, Western Australia, with a professional record of 4 wins for just 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Anthony Drilich!
And one proper number 12, Irish whiskey.
First bout of our main card here at Eternal 75. Claire Fry is in charge of this one. It's Jamie Renouf fighting out of the blue corner. Anthony Drilich in the red. Tanir Nathan cage side with my new co-commentator here this evening. He's no stranger to you, ladies and gentlemen, Blake Richardson. Welcome to the commentary booth.
An absolute pleasure to be joined with you. Apologies, I've just spent all the energy announcing this fight, but it's going to be incredible. I'm very excited to be here.
Well, Blake, you're the perfect person to sit cage side with me for this bout. You actually share the room with Anthony Drilich, as we make mention, this matchup proudly presented by proper number 12 Irish whiskey. What can you tell us about your teammate, and what are the expectations from not just yourself, but Ben Vickers here tonight?
Well, it's an absolute pleasure to share the room with gentlemen like this, and including Rod Costa, Jack Della, just to name a few at Scrappy MMA. I mean, you're going to see what Ant can do here. He really has a habit of drawing his opponents in, making you feel like you're doing a really good job, and then if you sleep on the hands, sleep you shall. I mean, he's got an absolutely devastating left hand, as we saw with Michael Barber in his last appearance.
That was the dawn of the phrase, holy smokescreen, I believe. Couldn't believe my eyes when that happened.
I don't think Michael Barber could either. It was an absolutely incredible finish.
Well, you've got to give credit to Drilich here. He seems to have switched up the game plan, looking to tax the muscles of the taller man in Renouf.
Well, it shows the respect. I mean, Anthony's not afraid to trade with anyone on the feet, but the fact that he's engaged in this clinch and the cage work this early on, I mean, it just shows the respect he has for Jamie's skill set.
Also have to make mention, fight fans, an absolute treat to be with Blake Richardson here. Nothing better than having 2 white belts, cage side, here at Eternal 75.
Absolutely.
However, as you can see, the fight is continuing to stay on the feet thus far.
And we're very grateful for that. There's no doubt, Tanira. You know, we don't want fight fans getting very upset as we miscall positions, but they've separated. They're back on the feet.
Let's see what Drilich can do here. Low with that calf kick goes Renouf.
Looked like it hurt him.
We've seen this with Anthony.
Every time Anthony throws that left hand, I get real nervous. I mean, it's got so much power for a guy in these lower weight divisions. I mean, it's a scary prospect. But Jamie seems to be incredibly comfortable. He's eating them and throwing back himself.
Just under halfway left in round number 1. Drilich working the left thigh with those knees. Renouf comes back with an elbow of his own over the top. And with such an explosive preliminary card, we saw, Blake, what a treat that was. 5 fights on the prelim card.
I'm still sweating.
5 fights on our main card yet to come. You can see the levels of professionalism rise as we see both men separate and take center cage. Kick to the body blocked by Drilich successfully.
Well, it's just as you said. I mean, we had 5 fights in our prelim card, 4 of which ended by finish. We had knockouts, we had submissions. I mean, it was absolutely action-packed. I mean, we could hardly believe it. We were grabbing each other in the booth. We were losing our minds. But, I mean, as you get to these higher skill levels, as Ben Vickers alluded to before, you're going to see a bit more composure.
A bit more composure, a bit more patience as Drilich, using those heavy hands to get in on the hips of Renouf once again.
He's looking for the ankle kick. Like I said, I've shared the cage with him before. I've shared the training room, I should say, sorry. But he's usually very well versed at chain wrestling over these 3 minutes. These 3 5-minute rounds, rather. He's just pacing himself nicely. He's got double underhooks here.
That's a huge left hand from Drilich.
As we approach 30 seconds left in the first round, it would be very handy for Drilich to secure a takedown here and really win himself the round. I mean, there's been not too much action, but I think Drilich has been more offensive, a little bit busier. What are your thoughts, T?
No, I totally agree. I was just going to say, Blake, the offensiveness of Anthony Drilich, you'd have to think would be rewarded in the eyes of the judges. Renouf doing a great job of defending thus far. He hasn't gone down yet, but he has eaten a few shots on Anthony's entries as we count down the final seconds of round number 1. We will see a second, Blake. Your thoughts on that? With UFC Fight Pass step into our world. Round 2 is underway.
Anthony backing him up to the cage there, looking to land that left. Those leg kicks have been landing flush most of the fight.
Well, he's timing them quite well. It's off the beat, and Anthony, he likes to control the center of the cage as he presses Renouf up against the fence again.
And you can expect some extra cardio from these boys. I mean, it's worth mentioning that they themselves are quite legitimately flyweights, but they had a gentleman's agreement before the fight that why suffer in the sauna for those extra few kilos, and let's just meet at bantamweight. Let's have a little bit more push, a little bit more energy, and let's see who the better man is.
I like what you said, gentleman's agreement. We know we can make flyweight, but let's not even try. How does that sound?
Well, I know you were speaking on their behalf and not our behalf. Yeah, I mean, flyweight, we'd have to cut half our body off.
I totally agree with you there. Strong whizzer for Renouf, controlling that left arm of Drilich. And more elbows, and you can see a bit of blood coming from behind the ear of Anthony, courtesy of Renouf. They separate. Center cage for Renouf now.
I mean, Anthony's continuing to take the center of the cage. He's eating a couple of leg kicks as he comes in, but he is getting that good control there. Nice left hand as he enters the clinch again.
How tough is Jamie Renouf? He just ate that left hand like it was nothing, Blake.
No, it's the one you don't see that's you're not going to be able to eat. I mean, he's doing a fantastic job though of just eating it and staying composed. He's not panicking against the cage. It almost seems like Anthony's baiting him for a little bit of a guillotine. I mean, Anthony does share the training room with Rod Costa, who's one of the best, if not the best, MMA Jiu-Jitsu practitioner in the country. He's got a nasty guillotine, so sometimes it almost feels like he's baiting him for that guillotine to get out and then end up on top and do some damage.
Grueling action is probably the best way to describe it, as it taxes those muscles. You've had your time up against the cage inside Scrappy MMA, haven't you, Blake?
I have indeed. I've got the scars to prove it. I mean, my back looks like I've taken 50 lashes a lot of the time when I finish up a session with these boys. But yeah, look, I'm expecting a little bit. I expected a little bit more action from Anthony here. I mean, he's being composed. He's got the good head control. They're separating here. I feel like he might be, again, like I said, lulling him into a false sense of security to unleash something. But Jamie himself yet to answer with anything rather significant other than those leg kicks.
Well, this is where Jamie wants to keep the fight, obviously off the cage. If he can continue to go to the body and the calf right on cue, you can see the welts start to redden on the right leg of Drilich. But it's more of the same for Anthony, Blake, as he uses his hands to get in on those hips.
I mean, anyone who has been in this situation, who has either even trained, not fought themselves, but it's exhausting, this cage wrestling. It really does takes a tax on the muscles and the cardio to secure a takedown. A lot of people might be sitting there thinking, why doesn't he just try and, grab the legs and get him down? Get in there and do it yourself, I'd say.
Easier said than done, Blake Richardson.
Absolutely. Here he is. He's joined the hands now. Nicely defended with the hips.
Renouf's defense has been on point throughout the entirety of this fight as we approach the final minute of round 2 of of a possible 3. You've got to give credit to Renouf.
Yeah, he's showed good defense, but again, I mean, Anthony has been the one that's been initiating most of the action here. I'm yet to see Jamie take a forward step. I think Anthony checked his first leg kick of the fight so far.
He has indeed.
It's always good to see the adjustments.
And I'm sure Ben in his corner will be encouraging him to do more of that. And you can see it, can't you, Blake? He's just looking to land that bomb.
Oh, yeah.
And there's 40 seconds left. Disengage and hit the guy.
Yeah, passionate Ben Vickers in the corner, instructing his fighter there. I mean, I'm no stranger to that, even in the training room. His passion is unmatched in the Australian MMA scene.
Well, he's encouraging Anthony to disengage and strike.
Come on, let's go. 10 seconds.
And he does so right on cue for Ben as he hits another calf kick for good measure. Just over 10 seconds left in round number 2.
I'd hate to be a judge on this one, T.
Well, down goes Renouf for the first time.
Stop.
And that will signal us to the end of our second round. Blake Richardson.
No, of course, it's absolutely incredible what these guys have done for the sport of mixed martial arts, not only in Australia, but worldwide.
You do that and you do it proudly. Third and final round upon us. To the body goes Renouf. A slip there from Drilich as Renouf ducks out of the way of that left-hand bomb. And it's classic boxer's stance, Blake. We're always heavy on that lead foot.
Especially if you've got a guy who's confident in his hands, you know, and Anthony always is. I mean, if he had any doubt in his mind, he answered those doubts in his last appearance against Michael Barber, but we're seeing a much more tentative, composed Anthony here. I mean, I think he might have watched some tape on Jamie Renouf and he knows the skill set that he has. Here he pressures him against the cage.
Beautiful shot from Jamie.
Nice level change to defend that. But he's got his underhooks here, does Drilich.
Renouf turning the tables on Drilich in our final round. And down goes Drilich for the first time in this fight. And for the BJJ purple belt, this is where he would want to keep this fight. Half guard for Renouf now.
And Jamie said it coming into this fight. He said, you know, I know he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt that he's facing, but I'm a purple belt. I'm no slouch on the ground myself. So this is, we're seeing it here. You know, you've got the half guard position. He's pressed him up against the cage. He's landing shots rather.
Instructing Drilich, get your toes out of the cage.
And Jamie's protesting something. I'm not sure what he's protesting, but he's confusing the toes out of the cage criticism for himself.
Big elbows from Renouf. Doesn't seem to be giving Drilich any problems. It's just that top pressure, Blake. He's so heavy. And especially in the third round where maybe fatigue comes into play here.
Fatigue definitely comes into play, but again, you know, the caliber of grapplers that Anthony shares the training room with, I mean, I wouldn't count him out too soon. The likes of Rod Costa, Jack Della, Jack Becker, I mean, he's used to these heavy grapplers on top of him, you know. But with 2.5 minutes to work, you'd think he really has to get to work now. I mean, nothing overly significant in the fight thus far, T. It's anyone's fight, would you say?
I would agree. I would say the first 2 rounds, Drilich did a great job of pressing the action. But again, do you reward the offense of Drilich or do you reward the defense of Jamie Renouf?
Oh, you've got to reward the offense, of course. But I mean, this is a great third round from Renouf. He's obviously had words with his corner. They've said, listen, we were possibly 2 down. We've got to come out here. We've got to put him on his back and we've got to try and get a finish.
Keep working.
These guys got to keep working, otherwise Clay will stand them up. Drilich.
It's worth mentioning as well that both these gentlemen have losses to Michael Manu, the Eternal Bantamweight. The only pro loss on Anthony's record is to Michael Manu, who himself is coming off a loss to the Eternal Bantamweight champ Rod Costa. So possibly the winner of this might request a rematch of sorts, possibly to get that one back.
Let's wait and see. Drilich looking for full guard. He finds it. But he's not out of the woods yet. Renouf still in top position and landing elbows from the guard. Drilich butterfly hook seems to solve the problem momentarily, but he's back in full guard. Is Jamie Renouf. And you can see Blake Renouf has absolutely no interest in passing the guard of Drilich. He's actually quite happy to sit there and strike from full guard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he knows it's his best chance for a finish here is to land something big from the top and possibly remove Anthony from consciousness. But Anthony trying to be active from his back and prevent any big shots landing, but he's giving away the round at the same time. Just giving his back to try and come up. 20 seconds.
Well, here comes Renouf for a last effort in round number 3. Drilich finds his way back to his feet as we count down the final 10 seconds of round number 3. They will go the distance.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge 1 scores the fight, 29-28 to the blue corner. Judge 2 scores the fight, 29-28 to the red corner. And Judge 3 scores the fight, 29-28 for your winner via split decision in the red corner, Anthony Drilich.